My name is Jeff Pyle. I represent the 60th Legislative District of Pennsylvania. As the chairman pointed out, Armstrong, Butler, and Indiana counties, which is roughly 200 miles west of here. Our county is bisected directly in half by the Allegheny River, which is a whole nother ESA issue, but not for now. At hand is an increase in the protections and classifications of the northern long-eared bat. And as all three of the congressmen present beautifully summarized, they are being slain by white nose syndrome in things that can be roughly likened to a biblical plague. The mortality rates are in the upper 90s. Here's the weird part about it. The white nose syndrome is transmitted only by actual physical touch. Well, if you know how bats conserve heat in their hibernacular, in their caves, or in their dwellings, they huddle together because there's almost no fat on a bat. And when they do that huddling, this white nose syndrome transmits one to another throughout the entire colony of bats in very little time. What I'm telling you is they instinctively pass this back and forth between each other and can't stop. Now, we have looked at white nose syndrome in this Commonwealth for a good 10 years. I suppose why I'm here is because of our experiences with the Indiana bat. A few years ago, Ford City and Katanning, which are both towns in Armstrong County, decided to consolidate high schools, and I kid you not, after 100 years of Ford City being in existence. A family stepped up, donated a whole bunch of land up in the perfect location on a mountaintop separating two towns that have had a blood feud reminiscent of the Hatfield and McCoys for a very, how Dad from Katanning met Mom from Ford City was just, nobody can figure it out. Anyway, we go up to build this school, and the next thing we know, there are people from U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and they said, well, you can't build right there. You're in a bat range. And we said, what do we have to do? And they had us hang the gigantic mist nets for hundreds and hundreds of yards in the trees, and they stayed up there. I know my testimony says weeks, but upon further review, it was actually months, and they didn't catch any bats. So we're figuring that's great. Let's get this school built. This is kind of cool. My eldest daughter will be the last graduating class from Ford City High School, and my youngest will be the first graduating class from the new Armstrong High School. I think this is a great opportunity, but that wasn't meant to be. Apparently, for us to be able to put up our new school, which is paid for by taxpayer money, this is not coming out of a private company or a big evil corporation. These are taxpayers. For us to be able to get a permit to move ground up on top of that hill, they said, that's fine. Give us $60,000 so we can go buy offset acreage somewhere else so the bats can play and reproduce and frolic and do what bats do, eat bugs. And as a side note, Mr. Chairman, my cousin Kenny used to eat bugs, but that's neither here nor there. Here's the crux of the matter. Take this the right way, and I mean no disrespect. You've created a government within a government. These people are self-regulating through the use of promulgated rules. You don't even know when they're coming. I'll give you an example. A couple of years ago, here in Pennsylvania, with our own game commission, there was talk of them classifying the little brown bat on this list. Most people know that as the common house bat. And as was brought up in the early intros, I have had bats in my houses. And as I told this gentleman, I haven't played tennis for 20 years, but that old Wilson's still in the corner because we have had a lot of bats come through the house. And when your wife's sleeping with your 6-month-old, everything else pales except getting that bat out of the room. I see the yellow light on, so I'm going to try to get it very, very closely wound down here. Here's the deal, boys. Until you change ESA, they can pretty much do whatever they want to do. And that big green blotch up there represents about 1/3 of North America, if I'm not mistaken. At what point does Homo sapiens start to matter? They're telling people who have owned family land for over 200 years in Armstrong County that they can't take down their own timber for 5 months a year that happen to be right over the heart of summer when you can go cut timber. Are you kidding? Sir, at some point, and I love the animals as much as anybody. Some I find cute and cuddly, and some I find delicious. And I see the red light on, but thank you very much for your time. And I would love to answer any questions. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.